My doctor told me my blood pressure was creeping up, and I'll be honest with you, it worried me. I've seen too many friends deal with heart problems, and I didn't want to be next. But here's what surprised me. Some of the most powerful tools for managing blood pressure aren't found in a pharmacy. They're sitting right there in the produce aisle and in your pantry. Today, I want to share 5 foods that research shows can genuinely help lower blood pressure. These aren't fad diet tricks or exaggerated claims. These are foods that work with your body in real, measurable ways. Now, I need to be clear about something up front. If your doctor has prescribed blood pressure medication, please keep taking it. These foods aren't replacements for medical care, but they can be powerful partners in managing your health. Think of them as reinforcements, not substitutes. And always talk with your doctor before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you're on medication, because some of these foods can actually make your medication work better, which means your dosage might need adjusting. Let's start with the first food, leafy greens. I'm talking about spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and even romaine lettuce. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Kale? Really? But bear with me, because there's a fascinating reason these work so well. Leafy greens are loaded with something called nitrates. Not the artificial kind you find in processed meats, but natural nitrates. When you eat these greens, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. And here's why that matters. Nitric oxide helps your blood vessels relax and widen. When your blood vessels are more relaxed, blood flows more easily, and your pressure naturally comes down. A study published in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology found that just 1 cup of leafy greens daily can help lower blood pressure. The effect isn't dramatic overnight, but over time, it adds up. The beauty of leafy greens is how easy they are to incorporate. You don't need to eat giant salads every day. Throw a handful of spinach into your morning eggs. Add some to your soup. Blend them into a smoothie where you won't even taste them. One tip I've learned: if you buy fresh greens and they're starting to wilt, don't throw them out. Those wilted greens are actually perfect for cooking. Sauté them with a little garlic and olive oil, and they'll shrink down to almost nothing. A huge pile of raw spinach becomes just a small serving when cooked, making it easy to get a good amount without feeling like you're eating rabbit food. The second food might surprise you. Beets. I know, beets aren't everyone's favorite. They taste a bit earthy, and they can be messy. But the research on beets and blood pressure is really impressive. Beets are another nitrate powerhouse, even more concentrated than leafy greens. Multiple studies have shown that drinking beet juice can lower blood pressure within just a few hours. One study from Queen Mary University of London found that drinking 1 glass of beet juice daily led to a significant reduction in blood pressure. The effect was comparable to some blood pressure medications. Now, you don't have to drink beet juice, though that is the quickest way to get the benefits. You can roast beets, slice them into salads, or even buy them pre-cooked and vacuum-sealed in the produce section. Some people pickle them. My personal favorite is roasting them with a little balsamic vinegar. They come out sweet and tender, almost like candy. Here's something important about beets. They can make your urine and stool reddish. Don't panic if you see that. It's completely harmless and just means you're eating your beets. I mention this because it startled me the first time, and I want to save you that moment of worry. The third food is something most of us already eat: oatmeal. Good old-fashioned oats, not the instant packets loaded with sugar, but real oats, steel-cut or rolled oats. Oats contain a special type of fiber called beta-glucan. This fiber does several helpful things in your body. It helps lower cholesterol, which is often connected to blood pressure issues. It also helps stabilize blood sugar, which can indirectly affect blood pressure. And it helps you feel full longer, which can support maintaining a healthy weight. Excess weight is one of the biggest factors in high blood pressure. Studies have shown that eating oatmeal regularly can lower both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. The effect is modest but meaningful, especially when combined with other dietary changes. A bowl of oatmeal in the morning is one of the simplest things you can do. Now, here's where people go wrong with oatmeal. They buy the instant flavored packets, or they dump a bunch of brown sugar on top, or they smother it in honey. At that point, you've turned a health food into dessert. Instead, try adding fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, Maybe a few walnuts or sliced banana. You still get sweetness and flavor, but you're adding more beneficial nutrients instead of just sugar. If you find plain oatmeal boring, try savory oatmeal. I know it sounds strange, but it's delicious. Cook your oats in broth instead of water, add some sautéed vegetables, maybe a poached egg on top. It's like a warm, comforting bowl of grain instead of the sweet breakfast version. The fourth food is fatty fish. I'm talking about salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, and trout. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and omega-3s are incredible for cardiovascular health. Omega-3 fatty acids help reduce inflammation throughout your body, and chronic inflammation is a significant contributor to high blood pressure and heart disease. These healthy fats also help keep your blood vessels flexible and responsive. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses. You want them supple and elastic, not stiff and rigid. Omega-3s help maintain that flexibility. The American Heart Association recommends eating fatty fish at least twice a week. That's just 2 meals. A piece of grilled salmon for dinner, some sardines on whole grain crackers for lunch. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now, if you're worried about mercury or contaminants in fish, smaller fish like sardines and mackerel are generally safer because they're lower on the food chain and accumulate fewer toxins. Salmon is also relatively low in mercury, and if you really can't stand fish, you might consider a fish oil supplement. But talk to your doctor first because fish oil can thin your blood, which matters if you're on certain medications. Here's a practical tip. Buy frozen fish. It's less expensive, it's just as nutritious as fresh, and you can keep it on hand so you're more likely to actually eat it. There's no excuse about the fish going bad in the fridge. Just pull it out in the morning, let it thaw in the refrigerator during the day, and cook it that evening. Now, the fifth food is one I mentioned at the beginning. It's something you probably have right now, but you might not be using it properly. It's garlic. Garlic has been used medicinally for thousands of years, and modern research is confirming what traditional medicine always claimed. Garlic is powerful for heart health. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which forms when garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin helps relax blood vessels and improves blood flow, similar to how blood pressure medications called ACE inhibitors work. Multiple studies have shown that garlic supplementation can significantly lower blood pressure, particularly in people who already have elevated levels. Some research suggests the effect can be as much as 10 points on the systolic pressure, which is substantial. Here's the key though, and this is why I said you might not be using it the right way. To get the maximum benefit from garlic, you need to crush or chop it and then let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking it. That waiting period allows the allicin to fully form. If you throw whole cloves or immediately cook chopped garlic into your pan, you're not getting nearly the same benefit. Also, the more garlic you use, the better. 1 clove here and there won't do much. You want to aim for 1 to 2 cloves daily. That might sound like a lot, but spread throughout your meals, it's manageable. Add it to your morning eggs, your lunchtime soup, your evening stir-fry. Yes, you might have garlic breath. It's a small price to pay for better cardiovascular health. Chew some fresh parsley afterward. It helps. Before we wrap up, I want to give you one more piece of practical advice. Don't try to overhaul your entire diet tomorrow. Start with one of these foods. Maybe you commit to oatmeal for breakfast 3 times this week, or you add a side of sautéed spinach to dinner a couple of nights. Small, consistent changes add up to significant results over time. And remember, these foods work best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. If you're eating oatmeal in the morning, but then having fast food for lunch and dinner, you're undermining your efforts. Think about reducing sodium. Move your body regularly, even if it's just a daily walk. Manage your stress. Get enough sleep. All of these factors work together. Your blood pressure didn't get high overnight, and it won't come down overnight either. But with patience, consistency, and the right foods on your side, you can make real progress. Your body wants to be healthy. Sometimes it just needs the right fuel and a little time. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.